Get on, bro. I don't hear myself. Come on. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
Legendary, Cubans zirconians. I loosen wings all the time, why would I want to flush? Money down the toilet for something so inglorious. When I got a diamond mind, I shine through my stories, bruh. My status come from Mora since I had baby fatty Russell.
You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
Hello.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the Shaw Report, and I am your host, Damian Banks. Shaw Bears alum and fans rejoice. This is your very own podcast hosted by moi, Damian S. Banks. Do me a favor. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at SportsByDamian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Another week is in the book. You are listening to the Shaw Report, the official podcast of Shaw University Athletics, where we cover whatever sport is in season: football, basketball, volleyball, men's, women's soccer, tennis, cross country, whatever sport's in season, the Shaw Report is going to cover it. Again, I am your host, Damian Banks. You can find this podcast on shawbears.com. Also, go to iTunes, search the Shaw Report. Also, you can go to Spreaker.com/SportsByDamian. Another week is in the books. I hope you guys had a great week behind you. Another week is ahead of us. A lot of good things going on in the athletic department at Shaw University. A lot of major things happening on the gridiron at Shaw University. Head coach Adrian Jones and the Shaw Bears had homecoming this past weekend, welcoming the Winston Salem State Rams to Durham County Memorial Stadium. We're going to recap that game. Also, men's, women's cross country competed in the CIAA cross country championships in Salem, Virginia this past weekend. We're going to recap that on the Shaw Bears Scoreboard. Also, volleyball was in action. Men's, women's soccer was in action. Also going to break down the CIAA scoreboard on the football side of things to let you guys know who's going to be representing the Northern and the Southern Division at the CIAA football championships in November, also in Salem, Virginia. A lot of big things are going in the world of sports at Shaw University. So let's get the show started off by, you know what I got to do. I have to take a swig of this natural spring water. I'm all about the natural spring water, bro. I really don't like the purified drinking water. I'm all about the natural spring water over a bed of ice. Have you ever heard that before? Water over a bed of ice. So let me take a swig of this and we're going to get this thing popping 10. Oh, yeah. She like real ice cold. Over that bed of ice is the only way to go. But I digress. Again, this is the Shaw Report. I am your host, Damian Banks. This is the official podcast of Shaw University Athletics. And if you're a supporter of the football team, you're having a real good Monday. You had a real good homecoming weekend. It was homecoming for the Shaw Bears at Durham County Memorial Stadium as head coach Adrian Jones and the Bears welcomed the Winston-Salem State Rams to town. Big time Southern Division matchup. It was on Aspire TV. I have Direct TV. I don't know what channel it is on Time Warner, but it's on Direct TV channel 381. Either one of those channels. If you watched it on TV, I think it's 381. Good matchup in the Southern Division of the CIAA. Shaw was trying to win homecoming for the first time since 2014, and Winston-Salem State was trying to keep their dreams alive of representing the Southern Division at the CIAA championships in November in Salem, Virginia. And this was a doozy of a game, man. The atmosphere was electric in Durham County Memorial Stadium, man. Very big crowd, good crowd, really good weather. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, but the most important thing is it didn't rain, man, because you have to hate those homecomings where it rains, man, and it messes up everything, dampers the spirits of the alumni and the fans that are attending the games. But it didn't rain. It was good weather, and it was really good football being played on the field, evident in the first half as the Shaw Bears really looked good in the first half versus Winston-Salem State, man. I've been covering Shaw for a couple years now. I've never seen Shaw with a 90-plus yard drive, and that happened in the first quarter of this football game against Winston-Salem State. 94-yard drive for the Shaw Bears, culminating in a 6-yard touchdown pass from Keon Marsh to Daniel Bender for Shaw to take a 7-0 lead. And I think that was a very impressive drive. Took a lot of time off the clock. The Bears, they mixed it up. They mixed it up on the ground. They mixed it up through the air. Again, Daniel Bender with that 6-yard touchdown reception to give the Shaw Bears a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. So defensively, Shaw played really well in the first half, limiting Kerryon Moore, the great running back for Winston-Salem State, limiting him in the first half, and pretty much shutting out. Actually, they did shut out Winston-Salem State in the first half. It was a 14-0 lead for the Shaw Bears at halftime. It was 7-0, and Winston-Salem State was driving late in the half. Senior Kevin Sherman had a 82-yard interception return, bobbing and weaving through the Winston-Salem State defenders as he returned that interception 82 yards for a touchdown as time expired in the second quarter to give Shaw a 14-0 halftime lead. So if you're head coach Adrian Jones and his coaching staff and the Shaw Bears, you had to be really pleased at halftime, man. You're up 14-0. Could have been more than 14-0, man. Shaw left some points on the board in the first half, if you ask me, but you can't be mad at being up 14-0 at halftime. But if you are Shaw Bear fans, you're a little apprehensive because you know that Winston-Salem State is going to come out and try to, get even with the Shaw Bears and try to get themselves back into the game. And they did just that. Big scare from Winston-Salem State in that third quarter as their star running back, Kerryon Moore, appeared to injure himself, and they weren't sure if he was going to be able to come back in the game. So backup running back Jaha Lineberger had a 5-yard touchdown run in the third quarter, and Antoine Pittman had a 1-yard touchdown run in the third quarter to even the score at 14 all. But late in that third quarter, Marquise Gorham, who was my player of the game for Shaw University, got into the end zone, a 4-yard touchdown reception. Senior quarterback Keon Marsh, let me give him a kudos too for Shaw University. He played a almost flawless game, 19 for 29, passing 203 yards and 3 touchdowns. Keon Marsh found Marquise Gorham for a 4-yard touchdown pass to put the Shaw Bears up 20-14. Missed extra point by Benny Kinsemi. Hopefully that extra point wouldn't come back to haunt the Shaw Bears. A lot of times those things do come back to haunt you, but luckily for Shaw, they were able to dig deep in this ball game because Winston-Salem State took a 21-20 lead with about 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And things were looking bleak if you were a Shaw Bear alum or a fan. But on that ensuing kickoff, man, good kickoff return to give Shaw good field position to start that final drive, man. And Keon Marsh and Marquise Gorham went to work again, culminating in an audible. See, I hear it was an audible for Marquise Gorham to catch that game-winning 25-yard touchdown pass with about 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter. But Shaw's defense, which had been coming up big all game long, had to come up with a stop late in the ball game to secure that victory. And they did just that, turning Winston-Salem State over on downs. Shaw University was victorious on their homecoming weekend, man. You gotta love it. You love it when good things happen to good people, man. And head coach Adrian Jones is in his third season. It's been tough sledding getting back to that pedestal where the alumni and fan base is used to. And, you have to be patient with these things. And Adrian Jones, he's in his third season, and you've seen marked improvement from the Shaw Bears football team all season long, culminating in this 26-21 homecoming victory for the Shaw Bears. First time that the Bears have won homecoming since 2014, man. It's a great way to send 14 seniors out for their homecoming day victory at Shaw University, man. And it was just a joyous occasion at Durham County Memorial Stadium. Again, the Shaw Bears 26-21 winners at home over Winston-Salem State on senior day on homecoming Saturday, man. You couldn't ask for anything more. The Bears dug deep, found a way to win, came up big offensively and defensively, man. Just salute to the whole squad. Big time effort defensively for Shaw University. As usual, Devin Hunt played big. Number 34 is a beast. 15 tackles for him. Kevin Sherman, I told you, 10 tackles and that huge interception return for a touchdown right before the half for Shaw University. Man, you can't say enough about Shaw University's defense against Winston-Salem State, holding Kerryon Moore to under 100 yards rushing, man. Kerryon Moore almost 3,000 yards rushing for his career at Winston-Salem State. Huge effort defensively from Shaw University. Got to give a hats off and a kudos to the defense as well. They improved to 4-4 on the season, 3-2 in the Southern Division. Not really a chance for Shaw to represent the Southern Division in the CIAA championship game, but it's a chance next week to knock off their rival in Raleigh, St. Augs. And hopefully, if the Bears win that game, they can improve to 5-4 on the season, winning record for the Shaw Bears. That hasn't happened in over 3 seasons at Shaw University. It's been actually about 4 or 5 seasons since the Bears had a winning record. May have been longer than that, man. So Adrian Jones and his staff making great improvements at Shaw University. Big things are happening in the athletic department. We're going to take a commercial break and talk about those big things happening in the athletic department. Men's and women's soccer, volleyball, and women's cross country. Again, congratulations to the football team on the 26-21 victory on homecoming weekend. But let's take this commercial break. I'm going to take a swig of this natural spring water. If you got to go anywhere, come right back. You're listening to the Shaw Report on Spreaker Radio. Hey Shaw Bears fans, refresh your game day with the new and improved real Coca-Cola taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar with 0 calories and 0 sugar. It's college sports' newest tradition. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and taste the feeling. Coca-Cola, proud sponsor of Shaw University Athletics.
You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Shaw Report. Again, I am your host, Damian Banks. This is the official podcast of Shaw University Athletics. Don't act brand new. You know what time it is, and you know how we do. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Go to ShawBears.com. Download this podcast. Look up scheduling and rosters, coaches, anything you want to know about Shaw University Athletics is on ShawBears.com. Also, this podcast is on iTunes. If you got iTunes, search the Shaw Report or go to Spreaker.com/Sports by Damian. Now that we got those particulars out of the way, I say particulars. My football coach in college used to say that, but I know this not how you really say it, but I digress. Now that we got that out of the way, again, congratulations to head coach Adrian Jones and the Shaw Bears football team, winning homecoming over Winston-Salem State 26-21. My player of the game, wide receiver Marquis Gorham, 9 catches, 129 yards, 2 big touchdowns, including the game-winning score with about 4 minutes left in that game. Shaw is playing really well now, 3-game winning streak for the Shaw Bears. Up next for the Bears, their Raleigh rivals, St. Augs, man, and I would be remiss. I got so excited, man, being back. I was out last week, man. I got my wisdom tooth taken out, my 2 bottom wisdom teeth taken out about 2 weeks ago. Bro, I couldn't even do it. I really couldn't. I tried. I couldn't do it. I was sounding like I had a bag of rocks in my mouth. And, kudos, to the surgeon for, taking out my wisdom teeth. But it hurt like a mug, bro. I couldn't even do it. So I'm back for another episode of the Shaw Report. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Again, we're on shawbears.com, on iTunes, on Spreaker.com. So, if any platform support the podcast, it's greatly appreciated. So with that being said, and without further ado, man, let's see what's going on around the athletic department at Shaw University with the Shaw Bears